Hello everyone. Good morning to Australia and good evening to the US and early morning in England, I think, or over in the UK. Just find my live in my group. Yes, I'm live. And I might just go a little bit the other way. I'm a bit out of sorts here. Go over that way a bit. That's a lot better. Good morning. Just wait and see who's coming on. Excuse me. Good morning. Oh, I need to turn that volume down. I always forget that one. And it's doing a scan as well. Oh, I need to turn that. Got it. Sorry about the noise. I turned because I watched on my laptop through the week different things, and I had the volume up and then I forget to turn it back down again. Good morning, Susie and Corinda. Good morning. Nice to have you on. I'll wait a few minutes until a few more come on. Hello, Jane from Melbourne. Yes, I bet it's cold down there. It's cold here. The wind's blowing a little bit today again. We went out for dinner last night and we ended up out on the veranda of this old house. It was a, not sure of the thing now. It was a restaurant and Greek restaurant, and we were outside and it was a little bit cool. Good morning, Jenny and Judy and Gemma. Nice to have you on. Yes, happy Saturday. I've got a card class to go to this afternoon, my monthly class that I go to down at a friend's place. It's nice to go to someone else's card classes. I love doing my own, but I do like to go to others. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Annette from Canada. St. Lawrence River near Kingston. We've got a Kingston here in Brisbane. It's a suburb of Brisbane. Hello, Tiffany from Nova Scotia, Canada. Nice to have you on. Hi, Fran. Nice to have you on. I'm not sure if you're coming to the next workshop. I've put the event up if you want to have a look later and see if it suits you to come. Good morning, Andrea. Warmer in Perth, but raining. Yes, no, we haven't got any rain, which is good. Just get rid of that thing. Good morning, Carmel. Good morning, Peggy. Oh, good friend. Thank you. If you don't remember to tick it, I'll tick it for you. We'll get started in a minute. We've got lots on. Good morning, Lorraine from the US. Nice to have you on. It's quite chilly here this morning. It was cold last night while we were out. I'll just go through this a little bit while everyone's coming on. Good morning, Jenny. I'm admin for this group. My name's Laura Stranks, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. We won't worry about all that bit. If you're watching this morning, you're already a member of my big group, Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. You'll find all the PDFs for my cards that I do on my lives on Saturday morning, as well as my YouTube video cards. The PDFs are all in the Files tab in there. I do post the PDF. I do a YouTube video every Monday morning, and then I'll post the link into my group, and then the PDF will be in the Files tab. My YouTube channel, if you haven't already subscribed, it's called Creative Gems. Now, I did put up a post the other day. I've got a private Facebook group as well, which is called Creative Gems. That's where this all started, with my private group. It's my team members, because I'm a demonstrator, and I have girls that are under me. So that's my team. And then they have girls under them, which is also part of my team. So all those girls are in my private group. Now, it's not a group that just anybody can join. I do have a couple of honorary members in there. They're good friends of mine, and they've helped me through the process of where I am today. They're in there as well, but you can't request to join. I have had a couple of requests to join that. I think most of the time they're getting it confused with my YouTube channel or even my tips and tutorials group. So don't be offended if I reject you for wanting to join my my other group called Creative Gems. The channel is called Creative Gems, and if you could subscribe to that, that would be great. So we'll put that aside because that's just the business side of it, and I'm not in a business, I'm in a hobby. Good morning, Joan from Victoria. Beth, hello. Sandy from Indiana. Jenny, good morning. I've said good morning to Jenny. So this morning's card, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone that has been posting their cards from either my lives or my YouTube videos. It's just so overwhelming that someone would follow along with my PDFs and my YouTube and my videos and create cards and then post them in the group. It's lovely to see so many. I'd like lots more, but because there's nearly 20,000 members in this group, there's a lot that are inactive. I'd like them to do more in the group, but don't feel that your cards are not worthy to put up. Everyone is worthy, and if it's criticism, it's usually constructive criticism. It's not rubbishing your card or anything. So everyone starts somewhere. I've still got some of the cards that I started with, and I don't believe what they look like. So if you want help with anything, just put it in the group and ask, you know, what can I do better with this card? Everyone's there to help, so please, please, please post your cards. This card today, I'm really excited to show you because it's a little bit more, it's not complicated. It's a little bit more in-depth than what we normally do on a Saturday morning. This one is like this. And it's, believe me, it is not difficult once you try it. I've done in both. This is the Australian one. I did just a dummy template in the US size. The only difference in the US size is the height. Yours are 5.5 and ours are 5 7/8 high. But I've got a quick way of doing the base, all the base pieces. So it's easy to do. This one I had fun doing because I did a lot more demonstration, a lot more decorative stuff on it. And I just love it. You can put a little writing panel on the back. If you can use this as your writing panel, but I think that spoils the effect of the front if you go writing in here. I could have put some more flowers in there, but I like it like that. And then you can just tuck your little writing panel on the back. The one I'm doing today, it was all pre-cut stuff out of one of the sets that I've got here, so it's a little bit quicker, although I usually stamp and cut everything as well. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, Nikki and Jeannie. Easy to do. If you're not going to craft along with me now, that's fine. All the measurements for this were in the files, in the featured tab. I pinned them in there, but I'll put the PDF up after I'm finished. So we shall get to the pieces that you'll need. And I'm doing the Australian version again, but I'll read out the US measurements as I go. So your main base, and this is Blueberry Bushel in mine. It coordinates with the other colours that I'm using today. This is the Australian one. It's 11 inches by 7 7/8. For your US one, you'll need, I'm going to have a drink of water because I keep croaking. The US one is 7.5. So that's that piece. And then we've got these pieces here. There's no mats on this. You could put mats in here, but I think it would take away the pattern paper too much if you put a mat under the pattern paper. So it's just the DSP, well, we call it for Stampin' Up. It's just the DSP straight on the base. But if you do want to put a mat, you would do your mat the same size as your DSP, and then you can either go a 1/16 smaller on each side, or an 1/8 of an inch smaller on each side. But I think it would make this too small. You're better off with just, and you save yourself a bit of cardstock. So these two here, this is what I'm calling my design one. They're 5 5/8 by 1 1/2, and I've got 2 of those. The US one is 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. That's those two. And then design 2, oh, here we are, 5 5/8 by 1 1/2, same again, and 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. So they're all the same size. That is these 2 in here and these 2 on the outside here. So I'm putting this checkered pattern in here, and I'll put the, I think, no, I can't remember, I'll work it out in a minute. No, the checkered pattern is going on the top side, and then I'm going to put the flowers inside. Then we've got design 1 again, which are these 2 1/8 by 3/4. There's 2 of those, and down here 2 1/8 by 3/4. So they're the same, because the width of, that's these longer panels up here. They've got 2 short ones and 2 longer ones at the top and bottom there. That makes no difference to the height of your card. So all these are the same as Australian and US. They're all exactly the same. And now there's 4 of these, 1 1/2 by 3/4 and 1 1/2 by 3/4. So it's 4 of those. And basic white, this is in the center piece, 3 3/4 by 3 5/8. I've embossed that with the brick embossing folder. That's going in there, not just yet, not in that one. And then I'm putting this little piece on top. This is out of, wait till I just get the name of this set for you. It's called Wildflower Birthday, and it's all pre-stamped and pre-cut, and little pop-out pieces. I've used a lot of those already. I'm not sure if it's still current. I think it's retired. And then you've got the DSP in all different patterns as well. So that's that one. So the whole card is made out of that. So I've cut this down. This was like a bannery thing, and I've cut it down to fit in here. That's going in the center of that. And then my basic white at the back is 5 by 3 1/2. That's that piece there. I've left it plain, but then I cut out another little panel that I'm going to stick on the top of that. You don't have to do this. You can just leave that blank, or as I've done here, stamp it and die cut it, whatever you like on that. And that's your writing panel. But this one, it's light enough here to do a message on the back with that. And I just sort of finished it off nicely. Then I've got some cut out bits for decorations and stuff, and some embellishments to do. So that's all of that. All of that was in the featured tab, so you don't need to copy that again. Now we shall get started. Hello, Gloria. I have cut it out but have slept in. That's all right, we haven't started yet, so if you've got your stuff ready, let me know if I'm going too fast. Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Marilyn. I've probably missed a few people because I've been watching my card. Sandy, hello. May, hello. Nikki, hello. Lots of people on. So we'll put all those bits aside and we'll do our scoring first. Now the scoring is exactly the same for US and, I'll put that other card back in a minute. For US and Australian, it's exactly the same. It's just your height that varies. So this is the Australian one. And we need this piece here. You're going to score with the long side at the top, and you've got 1 3/4 up here. 1 3/4. I haven't scored anything. I've cut it to the right size. So it's 1 3/4. I'm making sure this is straight because I know I did one the other week and it was a bit crooked. 1 3/4, and then 3 1/2. I'll go a little bit slow with the scoring so you can keep up. Now, you could go across, and I haven't worked out the measurements, you could keep going across and doing your same measurements over this side. I prefer to do it this way always, because you know you're getting the exact same measurement on both sides. So you're going to rotate it 180 degrees, and you're going to go 1 3/4 again, and 3 1/2. If your measurements over this side are going to be different, this is symmetrical, so it's the same measurements both sides. Just rotate it 180, and it saves you going all the way across there as well. So just do the same scoring on both sides. We'll put that away for a sec. Now, we're going to cut some of this off, and I'm going to cut it first. We need 2 1-inch strips. Before you fold it, it's better to do it while it's flat. So off any side, I'll just make sure I'm finished my scoring. Yes, I have. So I'm going to this side of my trimmer. You're going to cut off 2 1-inch strips off the bottom of your cardstock, and it doesn't matter which you call the bottom and top. So I need a 1-inch one off there, and another 1-inch piece. So cut 2 1-inch pieces off. And as you remember, it was 7 7/8 high originally. Now it's 5 7/8, which is the standard size for Australian. And your US one was 5 1/2. Where am I? Yes, 5 1/2 high. 7 1/2, sorry, 7 1/2 high. Now, so now it should be 11 by 5 1/2. So that'll work out to your right height for your card. So we'll get to those bits in a minute. These two here, we're going to fold into, the 2 center ones will go into a valley. I'll just get my scoring tool. So fold the 2 center score lines inwards to create a valley. And then the 2 outside ones will come back on itself to create a mountain. And you'll have a gap down the middle there, which is correct. So you'll end up with that shape, which is the shape of your card. Now, these 2 pieces here that we cut off, you're going to remove 1 score line, and just on the second score line, it doesn't matter which end you go from. What is the name of this card? It's called Double Z Fold. Jenny? Sorry, I didn't see that earlier. Hi, Debbie. It's called Double Z Fold, and you'll see why in a minute. Well, this is the Z part. I'm removing these 2 outside pieces, but when you cut on this second score line, cut it on just on the inner side of the, so you remove the score line as well, and just snip that off like that. So you're removing 2 sections out off there and 2 sections off this one. Doesn't matter which end you take them off, because they're going to end up in the same spot. So those 2 bits are spare, and they're probably useless because they've got a score line in the middle of it. So then you're going to fold this one inwards, and then that one backwards, and that's how it creates that, your Z. Well, it's a long tail Z. So you've got one like that. You can do this one exactly the same. We'll burnish them in a minute, just making sure they're nice and straight. This one, you'll just reverse it around. So this one's going at the top. You want the long side on the right-hand side for the top, and the long side on the bottom is on the left-hand side, like so. And I'll show you where it's going to sit. We're going to put the pieces on first. So this one will sit at the top here. Your longish panel will sit on the top of that. And then this will come in here, like so. It'll fold in right against that score line there, like that. And this one here will do the same. It'll come in on the top of that, and it'll bend in and come like so. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Just keep, it doesn't matter which way you fold them yourself. So it'll end up like that. But you've got your Z there. and that's a back to front Z. If it doesn't look as though it's right, just keep flipping it over. You can re-burnish your score lines as well, but that's how it's going to sit. I'll go through all that again when I stick them on here, but we're going to decorate these. You can decorate after it if you like. Doesn't matter which way we do it. I'll just burnish all of those. Now, I'm going to put, just want to make sure I'm doing this in the right order. We shall put these on first, I think. It's just easy enough to do. And this other panel, I'll bring this back in so you can see. This panel here is going to sit in here, but we won't know where to put it until we get these on. So this here, the longest panel at the top, if you flip it over to start, you can put a pencil mark to show. Now that's going to be butt up against that outside edge there. And I'm only doing this upside down because I want to, where did I put my pencil? I want to make sure where I put my glue. I'm just marking, put a pencil mark down there. You don't want glue past that pencil mark because it's going to sit on top of there. If you start and put glue out here, it's going to end up down on this bottom piece here. So we shall put some glue on that piece. I hope I'm making sense with everybody. So we'll put a bit of glue on there. You could use tape if you want to. I prefer glue when it's something that I've got to move around a bit. And then flip it back and line this up at the top like so. Make sure it's nice and even in the corner there, both sides. On this edge here and the top edge here. You can push it down flat for now, just to make sure it's nice and even. Everyone, good evening from Vancouver. I missed the measurements for the two pieces to cut off. They're 1 inch, two 1 inch pieces. Thanks, Sharon. Yes, you're just cutting two 1 inch strips off, but score first because then you've got the scoring in the right place. If you cut your bits first, then you've got to go ahead and score them, and you've got to cut bits off as well. You're cutting off the two end sections after you've scored it. This was on here, so I've cut off a score line and down on the left side, so you're sort of removing this score line, not cutting in the middle of it, so you're cutting off that. Now this piece here we can just put on the liquid glue on this piece because we know that's all that's going on to. And if we flip this back, just pop it into, just make sure, I'll bring this across, this can fold flat. It's going to just sit on this side of the score line. You don't want it on the score line, otherwise your card won't shut. If you pull this up, I'm wriggling that around a bit, pull that up and push it down like that, you'll know it's wedged in there and not going to impede on the closure of your card. So that's that there. I haven't got it very straight just yet, and we need to go across a little bit. You just probably need to burnish it down nice and flat as well. Because of your score lines, it doesn't always come back to where it should. So just re-burnish it if it's not in the right spot. But that's how it goes, or it can come in over the top. I won't move it around too much because the glue's not stuck yet. That's the top piece, and then the bottom piece is exactly the same, but you want the long edge over on your left side, and that's sitting on there. And we shall flip it over first. Just put a pencil mark down there so we're not putting glue past that pencil mark. Put some glue on that piece. And put that one on there. Nice and even down the sides and at the bottom. Push it down flat. You can get it more flat if you push it down And you can see that you've got it right on the edges as well. Is this the card I asked about? Oh, yes, Debbie, it is. Yes. I think you private messaged me. Yes. Or it might, I can't remember if it was private message or in the group. Yes, it is the card you asked about. Good morning, Suzanne Dix. How are you? So that's that side, and then we're going to do the same on this side. The last panel there, you're just going to put some glue on that. You've got the US measurements and the Australian. There's not much difference. Now this one's going to tuck in down on this score line in here, even at the bottom. Bring this across, and you can see that it's going to sit right. Make sure that folds in like so. And that's the base of your card. And this one here I did as a dummy. And the only difference, this is a US one. I always do a template of what I need. And all you can see is ours is 5 7/8 and yours is 5 1/2 high. I wish they'd make them universal all over. Maybe just go in between the two measurements for one and the other. Because I think your cards, your measurements will fit in our envelopes. But we've got a bigger gap at the top because ours are shorter. So that's your base. Now it's easy to decorate. All your pieces are all ready to go. So I'm putting my 2 checkered ones on the top. We'll put those on first because we're covering this straight through, and then there's a piece that goes in here. You could go with your strip straight across there, but then you're showing this gap here. I prefer to cover that as much as you can. I'll get my silicone mat out now. So we cover all of this. We want the checkered pattern up for this piece. I didn't want to put the flower pattern up on these main panels because I'm putting flowers as decoration. And I think it was too many flowers to go on it, so I've done the little pink checkered pattern. And the flowers, the blue is from some of the leaves in the pattern paper. Just trying to get that nice and straight in there. And the same on this one on this side. Getting stuck everywhere here. I can't work in a mess. Well, although in saying that, when my crafty friend comes over, we have stuff everywhere. Now, I checked this glue this morning to make sure it was not going to clog, and it's still clogging. I shall get my other one out, I think. Oh, there it goes. Oh, now we've got too much. I'll wipe some of that off. Got heaps of it off. Just seems to get a little clog every now and then. It's doing it again, so we shall get rid of that bottle and we'll get another one. Hopefully this one's okay. We have glue. Oh, that was the camera. You probably shake a bit here. I just hit my head on the camera. There it goes. There's a minute or so delay on the when I do the live, so when I do something, you don't see it for another 30 seconds or so. Or not 30 seconds, probably 15, 20 seconds. So that one's going on that side. There's lots of variations of this card that you can do, but I found this one is so easy. Anyone could do it, even a beginner. Believe me, because it's not difficult to, once you've got your scoring and your base all done. Oops, nearly lost it. Glue all over my pants. And this little one, the longer one of those pieces, this is the 2 of one. That's going on there. I went through all the pieces to start, so if you're not sure what's what, you can go back and watch the beginning. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's creations this week. I did get my tweezers out because I'm getting glue everywhere. The pink and blue go. I've done a lot of cards that are pink and blue. We've got the 1/8 inch border all the way around these panels. And then the 4 smaller ones are going on the other little panels. Now, I did put some of the videos I watched, no one put anything in here, but it just didn't look finished to me. You could have put those on before we put those pieces on, the Z panels, but it's easy enough to get them, pop them in underneath. That one on there. Good morning, Effie. Yes, oh, this is new. Oh, it's been for a few weeks now. I've tried a few different ones, and I don't like it where it's just limited to just the little grid paper size, because you can see all the stuff, or it's layer upon layer. And then I said to my husband, put a board here, and the board was just like a piece of timber, which is the effect that I wanted, but it was so rough and didn't suit my crafting. So we went to Bunnings, and I've got my photo box. If you look at any of my photos, you'll see this same pattern in the base of my photo box. And I did that one years ago, the photo box. And so I said, I want the same pattern as that. And we went to Bunnings, couldn't find any. I was about to walk out, and I looked down the bottom, and here's one roll. We only needed 1 roll. Here's 1 roll left, and it's the same brick as the colour of our house. Our brickwork is this exact same colour with the white mortar in between. So that's why I chose it in the first place for my photo box. Oh, what have I done? Oh yeah, I've put that talking. I've put that in the wrong spot. That's all right. It's going to get covered there anyway. We'll move that one over. Chatting away, not taking any notice of what I'm doing. These go into where the score lines are, in between the score lines. These back panels, I'm going to put the flowery piece. Yeah, so hubby covered the board for me, and that's exactly what I wanted. And it's huge. It's about, I don't know, up to 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters size. And I use it all day, every day for my crafting at home, although I've got a glass mat that I put on top of it that I work with. Now these will go in here. Just make sure, I'm not sure if the leaves are any particular way. I don't think they are. Just slide that in under there, and when you get it straight at the top, it will be straight at the bottom. Move that in a little bit, down a little bit. That's the beauty of using liquid glue. It's easy enough to move around. I've got decorations of flowers to put on the front, so I didn't want to put too many flowers. I like the pink check. It's taking a little bit longer today for this one because there's a lot more pieces, but it's well worth it. And then that one will pop under there. That's right. And that's the base of the card. Very pretty. Carol Shannon. Hello, Carol. Never seen you get time right from Adelaide. You're half an hour, I think half an hour behind Adelaide. So you would have missed it. It would be, it's probably, I don't know what time it is down there. I know it's half an hour difference. Just Google the time. What time is it in Brisbane compared to Adelaide? So this piece is going in here. It's just a plain white, and I've embossed it. And then I've stamped the little hello on here. That was out of this Wonderful Thoughts. There's a little hello here. I didn't put happy birthday or anything. I'm just going to use it. I'm just going to pop that in there. But you can decorate this however you like. This one here, I stamped the happy birthday on there. And then I've put, I I stamped a flower and coloured in there. So we'll pop that, actually we can pop this on first. I'll just get, it's all going flat because the card's thick enough without, this one's nearly empty, I think. Get just enough out. I'll pop that on the front of the white piece. There's lots of nice pretty pieces in this pack. And I've cut it so it's sort of even top and bottom pieces. Move it down a fraction. Like so. Not very straight. I think I'll just get my other bottle of glue. I've got so many bottles of glue open and I need to, this one should work. That one was just about empty, I think. I checked the other one before I started and it was working fine and then it clogged. This one's got plenty in it. And then that will go in the centre, up the right way. Not that there's a right and wrong way. Just be sure when you cut your pieces that you, if it's directional paper, you get your direction the right way. So that's that. And see how easy it is to put together. And then over the back here, we've got this one. This is my writing panel. It's not just plain white. There's plenty of room there to write. I'm going to put that with that. That's the back side of this paper. Plenty of glue in this one. It's just getting to the end as well. Maybe I should just use them all up when I craft and then toss them. I've probably got my head under there. So that's the back panel. That's going on there. Just for a bit of decoration at the back. Can't wait to see your design. Thanks, Sharon. Late to the party. Yep, I've seen that one. I'd love to see everyone's creations with this one. I'm sure there's lots of pretty papers out there that you could use. I'll centre that in that centre panel at the back. When you do a nice card, you don't want to see your handwritten message at the front. Well, I wouldn't anyway. When you do just a standard card, you open it up, your message is in there, but it's not impeding on the front of the card, so it looks nice. And then I have done a couple of little corner pieces here just to decorate. These are all out of this same set, like that. And what I did, they're individually cut. You pop them out of the paper so that they're cut for you. And then I cut a couple of 1 1/4 inch circle circles out of white cardstock. I put that and then I just attach those to it. So it gives you a base at the back to put all your decorations on. And I'm just going to put those in the corners. This one, I think probably I might go ahead after and put a couple of little flowers because it's not a pattern here. Like this one here is quite busy with the flowers, so it didn't need any more. But the checkered, I think it, I don't know. I'll see. I'll have a look later. I'm going to put some embellishments on, so I might just put some embellishments up the top. But this here, it can go flat, and I might just put some glue here because I'm not sure where it needs to be on the decoration piece, and I don't want it to end up sticking over where it should be. So I'll just put it in that corner and then pop that in the corner. And I know the glue's not going to be out here, that it's going to stick down inside my card. Doesn't have to stick the whole thing down, so long as it's stuck in the corner. There's a little bit of stuff there. And then this one up here, just go in the corner here. and pop that in there. I'll come down a bit so it's not sticking out above the top of the card. Otherwise, it's not going to be the right size to put in your envelope. So that's those two. I might go a little bit more under here. That's sticking up a little bit too much. And the same under here. You can always judge after where you need to stick it down. And that is that. How pretty is that? Thanks, May. So yes, I always do a circle. With this one, it was one whole piece, so I didn't need anything. But if you're arranging even a bigger, just use a bigger circle punch, 2 or 2.5, whatever you've got. Use that as your template and then stick all your stuff on that. And it gives you a base to hold it onto your arrangement as well. My embellishments, I've got some of these. These are flat, nice and flat. So I'm going to use some of the gold ones. I love these. These are, they're online. They're low profile dots and they come in, I think it's petal pink, that colour, and the gold. So I'll use some of these little ones. We're just going to put them in the centre of the flowers. In there. They're nice and flat and they don't put any bulk on your card, these ones. I go through lots of these. And one more in that one. I might just scatter a couple of the sides here and not put any more flowers. I think it's got enough flowers. We'll put some up here. Got some of the bigger ones. No particular rhyme or reason, just anywhere. That sort of fills it up a little bit. That will do. Someone asked me about they thought it was my Wink of Stella brush, but it was not. It was my pick tool. They were asking, I think it was on one of my YouTube cards, wanting to know where I get my Wink of Stella, thinking this was Wink of Stella because I used it so easily. But she was referring to this pick tool. My friend got me this, my crafting buddy. It's really pretty. It's blue. What I was going to try, I've got my Wink of Stella here. I thought I might just colour these flowers with the Wink of Stella just to get them a bit of sparkle as well. I'll just do the flowers, I won't do the leaves. You probably can't see the sparkle on them anyway. Just brush it around, gives them a nice little shine. Just to finish the card off. I keep getting a tickle in my throat. There we go. All done. Thanks, Gay. Thanks, Beth. Thanks, everyone. Hello, Tina Burrows. Hi, I've just finished. You can watch the replay. It's on, it'll be pinned to the, I'll upload it to YouTube as well. I finally fixed it last week. My granddaughter came over and showed me an alternate way to upload to YouTube, so that it didn't, I didn't have to do the normal way that I do. She was only here for 5 minutes and it was all done. When I'm in strife, I usually get in touch with her. Now, next Saturday's live, I won't be putting up any measurements. I'm going to show you how I do my eclipse cards. A few people have done some eclipse ones, and it was a die, and it looked like a blind type, like a vertical blind type thing, which is a die that you buy. And I don't have dies like that. Mine are all Stampin' Up. So I'm going to show you the way I do what I think is an eclipse card. totally different to that. But there's actually no measurements. It's just a standard card base, and then the front is the eclipse section. So you can just watch along, and then if you feel you can do it, it's not hard. It's another easy one, but it's really effective. I've done a couple of sample cards, so I'll show you those as well when I do that live. But I will put up a post through the week to say that there's no measurements this week, so you know, not you can come on and just watch. But it's called an eclipse technique. Really easy to do. Takes a little bit longer, but I've prepped everything that we need, so it should cut it down short. That's about it from me. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Yes, Naomi, easy to do once you've got your base cut. The assembly of it is exactly the same for US and Australian, so don't worry about having anything different. It's just the height of your card that's different, and that was my dummy up one with the height. So once you've got all your measurements there to cut, but the assembly is exactly the same. I better let you all go. I'm sure you've got things to do, and I've got a class to go to this afternoon. So I shall see you all next week, and I'll chat to you, some of you, through the week. Have a lovely week. Bye for now.